Hey guys, before I get into this video proper, I want to do a little preface here. I'm under such scrutiny these days that whenever I make a video like this, I feel people think that I'm doing it for empathy or sympathy or like I'm trying to manipulate you into money. I've seen that a lot in my comment sections. And this is a video in response to comments, so I figured this is a good place to put it. But the point of this video isn't about empathy. It's not about sympathy. I certainly don't mind that stuff. But the point of this video and the point of all of these videos has always very simply been, I want you to learn from my mistakes. So I'm going to talk about my stupid mistakes and the position I'm in because of those mistakes so that you can learn from them, not make the same mistakes, and be better than me. The point of this video, just like any of the others, is to inspire you to be happier, healthier, and stronger than I have ever been. So with that in mind, please enjoy the video. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live. Let's get through the power of the internet. And this is just kind of a life update, a health update. It's in response to a comment that I've been seeing a lot in the last couple months. There was this comment on the Burger Time video, in Monday's video where I show myself in the bathtub. A lot of people are concerned about my legs. And look, if you're a veteran of the channel, you've already heard this story before, don't worry, there's a nice update here for you. There's some good news for those of you who've been concerned about my legs and my health for a while. But for those of you who are veterans of the channel, you may already know that I have suffered for the last 25 years from a condition called lymphedema. Now, if you're familiar with shows like My 600-Pound Life or other shows that feature like morbidly obese people like me, you're probably intimately familiar with lymphedema and what it can do to the human body. And I mean, compared to some of these more extreme examples that you can see on that television show or elsewhere, I'm actually quite lucky. I've taken excellent care of my legs, doing my compression socks and doing everything it took to keep my legs safe and as healthy as they are. So whereas they look very bad, they could look considerably worse. And in fact, these are my legs back in 2016, where we talked about this the last time. And you can see my legs were much bigger and much more swollen, especially the feet, though it's kind of hard to see around my dog. But you can see how much more swollen they are and how much more discolored they were and just how much more miserable and in pain I was. Now, for comparison's sake, here's my legs today. I think you can see a big difference, especially in the feet. And the situation I was in when it came to the feet was my feet were so swollen, I couldn't even wear normal shoes. I was wearing like 14 quadruple E's just to be able to get my feet into shoes. Now I'm down to a size 12 that I can just buy off the rack. The legs themselves, I mean, they're no longer as swollen. I wear my compression socks frequently, but it's nowhere as necessary as it used to be. This stuff used to be porous. If you saw the last video, you knew that if I just stuck my finger like that, it would indent. Now I've just got soft, loose skin down here, which is definitely not healthy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's much healthier than it was. Obviously, you can see the skin is very dry here, and I think one of the biggest concerns everybody has is this discoloration. This discoloration is from suffering from this condition for the last 20 years. Whenever blood or lymph gets stuck in the legs here, when this would swell, those blood cells would die here, leaving deposits of iron in the skin there and in the leg, and that has caused discoloration that'll be there for the rest of my life. Even if I managed to completely be non-lymphomatic, even if I got the skin removed, there's still going to be signs that this was a condition that I was struggling with the entirety of my life. But right now, my legs are certainly not healthy, but they are healthier than they've been in the last 20 years. I'm actually really happy with that. I'm actually really proud with the state of these legs. They're much better than they've ever been. But whenever I show my legs in a video like this one, people will say, your legs are definitely screwed up. You definitely need to see a doctor. It's probably a sign of venous insufficiency. It's a sign of a heart attack. It's a sign of a stroke. It's a sign of being unhealthy. And absolutely, all of that's true. If your legs look like mine, you should absolutely talk to a doctor about it. I highly recommend you do. Fortunately for me, I talk to my doctor about it very frequently. It's something that we stay very on top of. Every time I have an appointment with any of my doctors, they take a good look at my legs to see how they're doing. And fortunately, very fortunately, because of the weight loss, because of my compression socks, because of my diet and exercise, diet certainly being the weak spot there, and exercise not being that much better, very fortunately, my legs are in a pretty strong state of recovery, even though I'm sure they look really bad to pretty much anyone out there. And sometimes, like during that Burger Time video, I mean, they're going to look kind of the way they used to look, kind of old school. I mean, here we have a capture from that video, and obviously you can see they're much more swollen than they are today, and that's because I hadn't worn my compression socks for a few days. This is back in February. I was not taking as good a care of keeping my legs elevated the way that I'm supposed to. So yeah, they could get bad pretty quickly if I'm not careful. It's especially difficult to travel because all that porous material is still there and it can fill up with water very, very quickly. I can gain and lose like 5, 10, 15 pounds of water weight in just a couple of days. Very dramatic difference on the scale when this stuff happens. A lymphedema basically means your lymph system is not sufficient enough to get the lymph out of your body. Your bloodstream carries lymph to where it needs to be. Then your lymphatic system is supposed to remove that fluid. And quite unfortunately, my lymphatic system can't keep up with the strain I have put on my body. So it can cause swelling. On top of that, the lymph nodes in my legs are damaged, either damaged or dead. We're not entirely certain based on the last time I talked to a doctor about that. But long story short, my lymphatic system is not capable of getting all that lymph out of there. Then you add my circulatory health, my heart health, and that being challenged, it creates a very bad combination. Like I said, when you see on my 600-pound life, I could very well be one of those people who can't get out of bed because of how bad their legs are. Fortunately, I'm not. And the reason my legs never got that bad is because I have taken it very, very seriously. I think we can all agree, when it comes to food, that's a battle I lose every day. But when it comes to my leg health, that is not something I was willing to risk, because the very first time I got an infection in those legs, I ended up going septic. I ended up getting in the hospital, and they wanted to remove my left leg because of the infection that was in it. Now, I refused, and it took 6 months of outpatient care and a ridiculous amount of money to save that leg. But fortunately, I still have it. It's still attached to my body. I'm still able to walk, and it's something I've taken very, very seriously. So when they said I needed to elevate my legs 12 hours a day, I do. When they tell me I need to wear my compression socks when I travel, when I'm driving, I absolutely do. When they tell me that I need to do something to take good care of these legs, I do not want to have them amputated. I would like to keep them. So whereas I'm pretty bad at putting the fork down, I'm pretty good at putting my legs up. But even though my legs are the healthiest they've ever been, there's still plenty of room for improvement. And that's improvement I definitely need to make. If I continue to lose weight, my legs will continue to recover. They'll always be discolored. That's just part of the deal at this point. But at least I'm no longer in stage 3 lymphedema. At least it's reversed. At least, that porous material is still there. But I'm not as likely to get infections. I can fit my feet into regular shoes. I mean, the last couple of years has been a tremendous amount of recovery for me, and I'm really, really grateful. But I definitely, if I lose more weight, hopefully it can get better. I've seen a lot of comments also say that this is a sign that I have bad circulatory heart health. And, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Having been morbidly obese for like 45 years, yeah, my heart is not great. I do have an enlarged heart. It's got its issues. I do have hypertension, so I do have to take blood pressure medication every day. I do have some arrhythmia, so there's a chance that I'll have a stroke or a heart attack. I have gone into tachycardia several times in my life, so that's another issue as well. And then I do have venous insufficiency down in the legs, which puts me at a greater risk of a blood clot, which could lead to a stroke or a heart attack. Absolutely. My heart health is not where it needs to be. Now, I've never had a stroke. I've seen people making fun of that, like, oh, he's clearly had a stroke or he will have a stroke. I've seen that in the comments section. He's going to have a heart attack. Yeah, I'm sure he's already had several heart attacks, just doesn't know about it. No, me and my cardiologist talk every 6 months, and I can tell you I haven't had a heart attack yet. I haven't had a stroke yet. But eventually that may very well come, and losing weight and taking good care of my legs will hopefully prevent that from happening until it absolutely has to. I'm definitely at a higher risk. It's something that I need to take serious. And as usual, the point of this video is to say that it's something you should take serious as well. If you're starting to see issues with your legs because you're morbidly obese, then it's time to talk to a doctor about it. And if you're morbidly obese and your legs are still very healthy, very fine, please learn from my mistakes and lose the weight now. Do better for me. Learn from my mistakes. Let me inspire you to be a better, stronger, healthier person than I've ever been. So for those of you leaving those comments, worried about my legs, worried about my heart health, I mean, you're right to worry, because certainly I'm a 45-year-old man with an enlarged heart, and I'm very fat, and I still have a lot of progress left to make. But the good news is I'm healthier than I've ever been. That is such a sad thing to say, because I'm certainly not healthy, but this is the healthiest I've been since high school. Certainly the healthiest I've been the entire time that I've been on YouTube. So we'll see what tomorrow may bring. Hopefully I'll be even healthier by then. But don't worry about my legs. They're very much under control. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. I know some of you guys are tired of like the personal videos, the health videos, that stuff, but there's a huge audience for that. The people that like it do like it very much. Don't worry, there should be more gaming news and Francis and comedy stuff coming soon. But I just felt like this was important to talk about. Hopefully people can learn from my mistakes.